just by saying God's name the whole time, I got through. But as soon as I stopped, I fell.
G'day and welcome to Dusty Sandals, where each week we get to chat with someone who's walked with Jesus and has a story to tell. This week we're with Prab Saini. How you going, mate?
Good, Trent. How are you?
Yeah, good. Great to have you here. You have just come fresh from finishing one of the most hectic times of your life. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, school is over, finally.
Year 12.
Especially this year, yeah.
So today you literally just finished school and came here.
Finished school and I came here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel kind of special. We're like your first post-school thing that you wanted to do.
Yeah, I feel special being here, yeah.
So, look, you've walked with Jesus. You've got a story to tell from it. Let's get right into it. Where would you kind of start telling that part of your journey with God?
I'd say it started in 2015.
Okay.
And it was when I was with my mate actually at school in class, and we talked about it. I asked him what his name was when I first met him, and his name was Abraham.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that's a cool name. And he told me a story about, his family and how he got that name. And he told me some stories about the Bible. And ever since then I was intrigued, but I still wasn't a Christian.
Yeah, right.
And then the following year I came to Gilson College. And
so Gilson College is where we're at right now. We're recording this in Gilson College, which is a school. Tell us where we are right now.
Gilson College in Mernda.
Mernda in Melbourne.
In Melbourne, yep.
Australia.
Yeah.
All right, so year 8, you started here, was it?
Year 8.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
So I started here year 8, and being at a Christian school, you do chapel weekly, and there's Bible studies, and that's what really got me into it. I was just the people I met, the people I had around me. It just showed me that there's a lot of what's the word for it? There's just a lot of amazing people who are so different to everyone else.
Who's the first one of those people that you remember?
I'd say it was Pastor Tinney.
Tell me about Tinny. That's a cool name too, isn't it?
Yeah, very nice name. Pastor Tinney was an amazing man. Oh, he's an amazing man. Sorry,
Yeah.
he's an amazing man. He used to be the pastor at Mernda Church.
Yep.
And the chaplain. Oh,
yeah.
Chaplain here, and yeah, he was just such a happy man.
Right.
Still is.
Yeah.
And something about that, just the way he was, his attitude towards people, his attitude towards everyone. It was just something I looked at. I'm like, that's who I want to be.
So that wasn't normal. Like you felt like he was kind of like not just a normal dude. He was like something next level.
Yeah, like it was. At my old school, at my primary school, there wasn't someone who was that enthusiastic or someone who was that nice. But his attitude towards everything was just amazing.
Yeah.
He was always smiling. I don't think I ever saw Pastor Tinney not smile.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just hit me. I'm like, wow, Pastor Tinney's an amazing person. He's nice. He's caring. And then, yeah, that year, as I got into everything, I started doing private Bible studies with him during lunch.
Okay.
And yeah, that really elevated everything.
So tell me what a Bible study looks like. What is a Bible study at lunch?
It's I would eat my lunch.
Yep.
I would go to the classroom, and it would just be me and him before chapel.
Okay.
And we would just be talking. He would just be telling me stories, and he'd like relate it to everything he's done in real life, and he just brought out Jesus. He just taught me more about Jesus and his character.
Yeah.
And a lot of the other amazing people in the Bible. And I saw that a lot of those characters, I saw those characteristics I saw in a lot of people at the school.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's who I want to be. I want to be someone like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool, bro. All right, so your journey kind of starts there in that early part of high school. How does it what happens after that? How do you progress from there?
Well, the way I progressed from there was it was the same thing. I would be at school doing Bible studies, but it wasn't that which elevated my relationship with God. I'd say it was like you, Trent, first of all.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Yeah, because the following year you came, and the new chaplain, the new pastor, and it was just amazing. It was so good. and then we would do exciting things, and you brought another, just the characteristic of a man, that sort of thing, and I'm like, I want to be like Trent. Like, I just want to be like Trent.
If only you knew the whole picture of who I am, maybe you wouldn't want to be like. But yeah, you saw something, I guess, and
Just your leadership, your
Okay.
your relationship with God, and just how much respect you had, and how much people respected you.
Hmm.
And that really, I was like, wow, this is a person who's well respected, great relationship with God. He's the definition of a man. And I was like, wow, I really want to be like that. So I was just looking up to role models constantly.
yeah,
And yeah, I'd say another reason was Mr. Khaled.
yeah.
He used to be what was he, Trent? The principal.
Yeah, he was acting principal for a little while, I think.
Yeah, but that was the following year. He was
Yeah.
a campus director or
Oh, okay.
head of campus. Head
Was
of
he?
campus. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So
Okay.
2006.
He was, because our current head of campus, Helen Jakopek, stepped out for study leave for a year, I think.
Yep. So yeah, and I wasn't I got in trouble a lot that year.
Yeah, right.
And you know, me going to the office happened a lot also,
Mm-hmm.
because I would get told off, and I would always get sent to Mr. Khaled. But when I got sent there, I would expect to get yelled at, or possible detention. But that's not what Mr. Khaled did. He talked to me. He talked about my actions, and I'm like, wow, this man, after whatever I did, I don't remember now, but it's probably bad to get sent to his office constantly. And I'm like, wow, this man just forgives me. He's talking to me about how I can change myself. He's not out here to punish me.
Hmm.
And again, another characteristic of Jesus,
Yeah.
right? And that sort of thing got me. I'm like, that is who I want to be. This is the type of life I want to lead.
Hmm.
I don't want to be someone who is trying to punish anyone. You know
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say?
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of seeing a picture build up here that you've got, at least three. You've named three different influential people in your journey with God, and the thing that you saw was a bit of a picture of Jesus,
Yep.
and you were attracted to that. You wanted to emulate that in your own life. Has it worked in your own life? Like, has God actually become real for you and changed you in any way?
I think he has.
Yeah.
I would say so, because especially like this year, it's just, I'd say I'm a lot more calm to what things, like if something happens, I'd stay calm during it. I'll deal with it in a way that doesn't require me always yelling. I'll start, being chill.
Yeah.
For example, the camps we've had, or the fight ups I've been at.
So camps, we're talking like youth camps
Youth
with our
camps,
church.
With church.
Fired up. What's fired up? Tell people what that is.
Fight Up is something that Gilson College, where we are right now, holds, and it's every Friday, and it's just it's a youth meeting group where we have a fire and just a bunch of young people who want to learn more about God and grow with God.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's
So that's had a bit of an influence.
yeah,
those
and like
things.
just being there, like if something would go wrong, I know you remember some of the things that have happened there.
Yeah.
Oh, I made it sound really bad, but just
Nothing like terribly sinister or anything. It's just
like little mishaps, and the way I've dealt with it is I've tried to say, okay, stop, alright, that type of thing, and then I've just tried to do a calm approach, and I think that's how Jesus has changed me. He's made me less violent. Not that I was ever violent, but he just made me into a calm person and a caring person.
yeah. Something that I noticed, because I've obviously been involved in that journey, and I've watched on with a lot of curiosity in your life over the last has it been 4 years I've known you, and what I remember, I've shared this with you before, is I remember this image of this kid in year 8 who was like, he was just a bit foolish. Like, he's just like messing around, and he's not really thinking about what he's saying or what he's doing. and you were just like, I don't know, you're a bit of like a leaf blown with the wind, right? And like, you were friggin' awesome. I loved hanging out with you. You were someone that was very entertaining, for people to look at, I think, and to watch, the things you would do. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, but I kind of worry about this guy. Like, well, what's he going to be when he's like 21? I did not expect what I've seen in the last couple of years. Like, yeah, you've really become a person who's been changed by God. As you say, like, yeah, you're more calm. You're more. I was going to say the word resilient, but it's more like you're just sort of like floating above the storms. You're able to just do that now, and you're a lot more mature. I mean, that happens naturally to any teenager. You hope, but in your case, yeah, you've done a remarkable transformation, or maybe I should say, God has done a remarkable transformation in you.
I agree with what you're saying. I think God, all the people that helped with that, you, Pastor Tinney, Mr. Cowled, even Mrs. Jackie Peck. There's so many people, so many role models. Mr. Starry, there's just countless people that I can name, and all these people, I think God used them to help me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
As in, just as role models. And yeah, God's done a great job.
So you're now how old?
18.
18?
Yeah.
Sweet, mate.
Yeah.
Where do you feel like God is taking you in your life? Do you have a sense of like purpose, or of like what he wants you to do? I'm not talking necessarily, by the way, in terms of like, oh, God wants me to be a missionary and go over.
Yeah.
No, that's not. I'm like saying, do you have like this sense of like why you're here on earth, what God wants you to do with your life on a daily basis?
I don't know. I really don't know. I really hope it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But I genuinely do not know where I'm going. But
does that scare you?
No, it doesn't. Because I know that I'm here today. I'm here doing this, and it's because I want to do it. I go to Fired Up because I want to go, because I want to be there, because I want to learn more about God and help other kids out with God.
Yeah.
And I think that will be something they'll be actively doing next year. I'll be coming to Fired Ups. I'll be coming to Revibes. Whatever else is happening, I want to be there. Church, and that's my goal. But my goal is obviously also working next year. So
tell us about that. What are your plans?
I'm going to TAFE next year.
Yep.
Studying building and construction.
Cool.
So should be interesting.
Taking up the same line of work as your old man.
Yeah, as my dad. Yeah, should be very good.
Nice.
I'm excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
So,
good. Do you have any like? You're reasonably young, so I don't expect you to have like heaps of stories necessarily about God. But do you have any moments that you look back on and you go, "That was a significant time for me and God"?
I do have stories, but I don't have like a significant story. I have like little good stories. I'll share one of them. This story was last year, so 2019, and it was when I went to Mount Buller. So I went to Mount Buller with Jeremy, Jeremy, Sam, Zach, Jeremy's brother Nathan, and me. And we went snowboarding up in Mount Buller before church camp, just to have a fun day out with the boys. And that day, there's something called a T-bar.
Yep.
Or a T-lift, I don't know.
Yeah, T-bar.
T-bar. And so the way that works is you grab the T-bar and you like hold it in between your legs, and it carries you up the hill. Very difficult to do. Very hard work. I don't know how people get the hang of it, but it takes a lot of experience. And I tried it because why not? New experience. And I kid you not, I probably fell off 15 times. And I probably got like 20 meters in, 30 meters in, and then fell. Once I got halfway through and fell. and it was just getting annoying.
Mm.
At this point, I was better off walking. um, but I just kept trying it, and what's significant about this is I decided, hey, why don't I like pray or just keep saying God's name, and maybe I don't know, maybe he'll help me through this.
Yeah.
I know it sounds, it may sound stupid, but it worked.
Right.
So I started saying God's name, and I probably got about a quarter through. I'm like, God, please help me get up this. God, please help me get up this. I just kept saying that. I didn't even look in front of me. I just said, God, please help me get up this. I didn't look or anything. I was just saying that. And I stopped saying it. I just completely stopped. Next thing you know, I fall.
No
right
way.
Away. I fall right away. And I'm like, oh, what is this? Why'd I fall?
Yeah.
And I didn't give up then. I'm like, oh, hey, let's just keep saying this. Then I tried it again. God, please help me up this. God, please help me up this. I stopped saying it and I fall again. And then the third time, I just kept saying it the whole time. I didn't stop saying it. And I get through it all.
Wow.
And it didn't hit me until the day after at church camp. That, wow. Just by saying God's name the whole time, I got through. But as soon as I stopped, I fell.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Like,
yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So, in your head, what was saying God's name actually about in your head?
It was just him keeping me still, I guess.
Okay.
Just,
so this was you like going, "Oh God, I trust you."
yeah.
You know, just it's just you and me here. You know,
Exactly.
help me not fall off.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly that. Yeah. It is very hard climbing up a T-bar. Like,
yeah, dude.
it's
Was that your first time?
yeah. It's my first
On
time
the
snowboarding.
Wow,
Yeah.
bro.
A very fun time.
Yeah.
Wanted to go again this year, but
COVID.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So that probably gave you a bit more confidence in God, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I was amazed. I didn't realize it that day.
Hmm.
I didn't think about it at all. And it just hit me the next day when I was thinking about the trip that I got up this T-bar.
Yeah.
Because I said that. So,
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah.
I like
it's
it. Yeah, that whole T-bar experience, do you feel like that's kind of an analogy for your life? Like, you try and then fall down, you try and then fall down, and then the times where you've got God with you are those times when you feel like, I fell down a lot less.
Yep. Nah, 100%. When when you have those moments when you're without God for maybe a week, maybe longer, maybe a few days, and those days are usually not good.
Yeah.
And but those days with God, even though they may not be the brightest of days, you still got God with you to keep you, I guess, calm during those days, or to keep you just happy.
Yeah.
He's there to comfort you.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, I totally get that. So going back to your story, was it like, you come to Gilson College, you learn about God, you jump on board with him, and then like life is just amazing from then on, or is it a bit different to that?
no, it's very different to that. I think that I had my patches with God where I was great, and then I had those rough patches where it went a bit just sour. Like, I wouldn't talk to God. There was none of that. And then it went great again. And then it went sour. But my worst sort of downfall sort of area, or time, was probably all throughout last year, so 2019. So not all throughout, but probably from January to like March or April.
Yep.
I don't think I talked to God once.
Wow, it's a long time.
Yeah. It was very, long time. Yeah.
Yeah. So you just like, is it kind of like you just forget about God for a little bit kind of thing, or?
Yeah, or I just can't be bothered.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that sounds bad, but
No, I think a lot of people. Yeah, I've been there. It's like you just get in your own head too much, and you lose sight of the fact that, hey, I've got this awesome father in my life who really cares about me and wants to lead me in a good path. But like maybe I want to do my own thing for a bit. It's like, you pull your life back from him.
Yep. Yeah.
How did that period end? How did you come out of that?
So at school, it was online schooling at the time because of COVID. I'd say a lot of stuff happened with my mates at school. And so basically we just drifted apart. I found new mates. Those mates weren't the best mates. And, they made me do some, not terrible things, but just some bad things that got me in trouble. And after everything happened, I'm like, wow, what am I doing with my life? I've been sad for a long time, like just with this whole stuff that's happening with mates. I don't need this sadness in my life. I can be happy, right? So I decided to just pray. I prayed all throughout the weekend, all throughout the week, and God just made me comfortable. I wasn't panicking, none of that. And I decided what I need to do. I asked God, I'm like, God, do I leave this group of mates? And he just gave me a sign. I just did it. I just went.
Right.
And
did you tell them, or you just didn't show up to?
No, I told them.
Yeah.
I was like, mate, one of my closest friends at the time, became a very. I just didn't think he was who he was because he was acting so different. And so yeah, we just drifted apart. I'm like, mate, I don't like this group. It's no fun. That's not what a group should be, And I go back to my old group.
The boys.
Yeah, the boys I'm with now. Yeah. But not only did that just bring me back to my old group, it brought me back to Gilson. It just, that relationship with God, and I think I texted Jeremy about that. And I'm like, Jeremy, look, this happened. I'm talking to God, it's been amazing. And yeah. And I started, at this time, COVID was sort of slowing down. I started coming to fight ups, started coming to church. You would see me in the church Zoom calls.
Mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice.
And that sort of just elevated my journey with God, and it was amazing.
Yeah, that's something that surprises me about God is you talked a little bit there about how you start inviting God back into your life, and he's just like there. He just shows up.
Yeah.
He's not like I mean, if I didn't talk to my wife for 9 months and then I just rock up on the door one day and I'm like, honey, I'm home, she'd be like, no, you're not home. Maybe we can start a conversation that leads to you being home, but you're not home yet. You can't just leave for 9 months and not talk to your wife. She'd be pretty, I think she'd be a little bit perturbed. But God's not like that. He's just easily forgiving. I don't know how he does it, to be honest, but does that surprise you about him?
It does. I know when I prayed that day, I didn't feel awkward praying. I think at first it was awkward, but I think God made it natural.
Right.
I think God just changed my mindset. He's like, I know you've been away for a long time, but you're back. That's all that matters. Tell me what's wrong. Talk to me. Let's build this relationship.
Yeah, nice.
So it's good.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any big challenges along the way that you've looked at and you're going, yeah, that was really, really hard?
I wouldn't say big challenges. I'd just say being busy is a challenge. Because year 12, you get busy.
Yeah.
You don't have time for some things. For example, I was doing Bible lesson plans with Jeremy and a mate of mine, Melbourne, every day, pretty much. And they just sort of stopped because I got busy. I seriously just got busy. I was doing homework late, just had other things, and then it just sort of drifted apart. Doesn't mean my relationship from God drifted apart, just a lesson plan sort of that we were doing, the Bible plans.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say being busy is a big challenge.
So true, especially in year 12 VCE.
Yeah.
Hectic. I remember
Very
what that was
crazy.
like. Prab, thanks for sharing your story with us. Really cool to hear and to see what God's done in your life. I want to hear it from you how do you feel like God has actually like changed your day-to-day life? Like, how are your relationships different now to what they were before? How's your lifestyle different? Like, describe to us like a day in the life of Prab now compared to what it might have otherwise been like.
I'd say the days are normal, but God's just brought out a lot more people in my life. He's brought out, like, I know that 4-month rough patch that I had where I wasn't talking to God. You know, after that I prayed. Jeremy came back into my life. Not that he was ever out of my life. He just came back into it a lot more. A lot of other mates from Gilson came back into my life. And I found a new hobby, mountain biking.
Oh, yeah.
So I just think that God's just changed, just made my life more positive. When I was upset, he introduced mountain biking to me.
Yeah.
Just to make my life better. So he's just introduced more people, and therefore more fun, more positivity.
Nice, mate.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey, it's been really cool to chat with you today. Thanks so much for being with us. And we wish you all the best on the rest of your journey with God.
Thank you, Trip.